So all day today, I'm working with these kids at the All-State Band, and I don't want to tape them because, we're working hard on stuff, and I don't want to make anybody nervous by having the camera out, but I wanted to show you this one thing that's happening. And the vlog today is going to be really limited because I'm here like from morning until night with no Wi-Fi, no cell service, and no time to really do any of this. But we were having a problem where the piano player couldn't hear herself, and so this is what we did. Check out this rig. That was gonna fall over, so we used the band director's stand to hold up the piano, but then she couldn't read the music. So I MacGyvered this thing together, and it totally works. It's totally ridiculous. I'm gonna go get some dinner. I don't know what this is gonna be tonight. I'll try to pull something together back at the hotel, but this is a long day, a lot of music to get through. Okay, so here's the deal. It's 11:15 p.m. Just got back to my hotel room after a long day, like at 8 a.m. to, well, whatever time it is now, 11 something. I wanted to kind of encapsulate some thoughts of some stuff that was going on today and answer a few questions and then try to get a little sleep because I only got 3 hours of sleep last night. And I have later this week, or next week, I'm going to Spain. It's about to get really busy and I got to start turning on the juice to really deal with the Snarky Puppy music that I got to memorize for June. So a lot coming up. I'm going to just go through a few questions. The Spotify playlist, yes, I will do it. I think I've avoided doing it in the past because it's like I don't want to, how can I put this? It's not going to be some comprehensive listening list like some pedagogical discography that you need to check out. But I'm glad to put together a public list of music that I like that's, I was playing stuff for the kids today that spanned from D'Angelo to Michelle and Degacello to Stan Getz to Joshua Redman to Michael Brecker to Chris Potter to Sting to, a lot of stuff, to Radiohead to more modern bands that you maybe haven't heard of, just whatever. If I think it's good, I don't know if I should separate it or what. This is the kind of thing, I tend to overthink this stuff, and so then I don't do anything about it, but maybe you guys would just like one big playlist that just had music that I think is cool, and you can pick and choose. It'd be a big list, though, so I'm not sure. All right, so yes, I will do the Spotify playlist. I'm not exactly sure when, but I will. Ask Rasmussen left a comment, what was that thing at 6 minutes? Augmented triads or something? Referring to yesterday's vlog. If I remember correctly, I was playing major triads separated by major thirds. So like a C major triad intermingled with an A flat major triad and an E major triad. So the three of those major triads are a major third apart, right? So equidistant. And I was just alternating, working a C major triad. And then if obviously there's notes in common, right? Like a C major has a C, well, that's also in an A flat triad. And it has an E, and that's also in an E triad. And an E has a G sharp, well, that's also the same as A flat. So there's like common tones and different tones. So it's something I'll work on sometimes, just interpolated or what, I don't know, whatever. Kalim asked the song in the video, yesterday's video, sounds like it's in 4/4 and then 7/8. Yeah, it is. It's in 15, but that's how I think of it. I think it was Common Ground was the song I put in there yesterday, and it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. That's how I feel it. 4 1 2 1 2 3. AKA 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1. But I feel it in a big beat. I feel it like 2 measures of 4 with the end chopped off. So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. That's how I feel it when I play it. I guess that's all the questions, but let me go back to the listening thing. Yeah, I've been talking a lot with the kids today about listening. And here's the thing, I was really lucky. Like when I was in high school, I didn't know it at the time, but I was surrounded by some older musicians, some significantly older, but most just a few years older, that got me really excited about music. This is a big reason in my online lesson site I do these monthly transcription challenges, is to just isolate a little piece, just something small, so we can get inside how awesome that is. When you're listening, you don't need to transcribe like whole solos, and doesn't need to be this whole thing. You just need to find great music and get excited and inspired by it, and then go hunting for like, what is that? Why does that sound so good? Trying to make sense of it. The process of being self-aware enough to deconstruct music and figure it out on your own, and not think that necessarily there's this set of perfect answers out there that will tell you the right way to do anything. It's just language, man. So I was talking with these kids today. I have 2 young kids. Watching them learn how to speak, it's incredible, right? They listen and they listen for like 10, 11 months, and then they start to say things. Na, 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 da, 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 da. And you say, hey, clap. Like, I'll say to my son, clap. Hudson, clap. And he'll go, and he gets it. And I'll reaffirm that. Yeah, great job. And this is how we learn language. You don't learn language in a room with books. We learn language by being spoken to, by listening, absorbing, and then testing the waters, trying things out, and waiting to see what feedback we get. That's what you want to do with music, in my opinion, anyway. Just copy it. Don't worry so much about what it is and how it relates. And I get a lot of questions about like, hey, Bob, but I am transcribing, but I don't know how to apply what I'm doing to my playing. And my answer would be, don't worry about applying it. That shouldn't be your focus right now. Your focus should just be emulating it, imitating it. That's it. I'll give you a quick example. Sidebar, the guitarist Mike Stern, my friend Yannick Gwizdala, great bass player. He's done a bunch of touring with Mike Stern, and from what he's told me, when they're on the road, Mike will often call him up and say, hey, Yannick, check this out. I'm transcribing Coltrane, and he'll just like show him this hip Coltrane thing he's transcribing. So Mike Stern has a very unique and identifiable guitar sound. And he's still going back and trying to digest what great players before him have done to figure it out, to deconstruct it. And that's it, man. That should be exciting. It shouldn't be a chore. That chase, we were listening to D'Angelo's Voodoo today, and just, what is this that makes it so good? What is it about the relationship to Pino Palladino's bass playing and Questlove's drumming? And, but you got to know this stuff. If you're somebody of the younger generation who didn't come up through albums and CDs, you have this opportunity because you have more music available to you than ever before in history. Literally YouTube, Spotify, whatever, it's all out there. The problem is it doesn't give you context. It doesn't give you all the information that you need, because you don't just need the name of the headliner that played on the CD. Somebody said today, I said, saxophone player, I said, who do you listen to? And they said, Coltrane. I said, oh, which Coltrane do you prefer? And they're like, oh, I like it all. I said, oh, really? You like Blue Train and Ascension? And they didn't know what I was talking about. They didn't know there's any difference. They don't have any sense of context for, if you don't know that John Coltrane played with Miles before he did Blue Train, and played Blue Train before, Satellite, and Satellite before Ascension, you're missing the forest for the trees. So it's not pretty. You got to go do some digging on sites like, I don't know, Wikipedia, allmusic.com is not great, discogs.com, but take the time, man. It's worth it. That's the payoff. That's the trade-off, rather, for having all this free music available to you at your fingertips. You got to do some digging and find out. I mean, that CD case that you see behind me in my home studio, that collection isn't necessarily growing over time, but that's in a collection I invested in with my hard-earned money as a kid. I used to travel to New York, and I'd mow lawns to save up money and go up to New York to buy as many CDs as I could that cost like $16, $17, $18.99 a pop. You better believe I valued those suckers. When I got home, I put them in the car. I listened to them nonstop. I pored over the liner notes. You know what liner notes are? Do you even know what liner notes are? I read the story about who that artist was, what they were doing at that time in their career, what this music meant to them, who else was playing on it, who mixed it, who mastered it. Was it recorded in one day or two? Did it come before or after this other album? And that stitches together a quilt of information that I can draw upon. It all feeds in to the whole big picture that is playing music. So I don't mean to stand on too much of a soapbox, but I just thought that was on my mind today, and I wanted to pass that along to you. I got another big day tomorrow, and then I leave the next day, so tomorrow might be kind of similar. Sorry if this is boring. It's not going to have a lot of fancy editing in it. I just don't have much other stuff to include beyond this message. I hope this is helpful, and you take me up on the invitation to dig a little deeper with your listening.